My 28M girlfriend, 26F, physically attacked my little sister because she thought we were too close. I broke up with her immediately. Did I overreact? This happened 3 days ago and I am still processing it. I have been with Samantha for 8 months. And honestly, I am starting to realize I may have ignored some major red flags. When we first started dating, Samantha seemed perfect. She was attentive, always wanted to spend time together, remembered every little detail about my day. I thought it was sweet how much she cared. But looking back, the caring started feeling more like surveillance pretty quickly. It began with small things. She would ask who I was texting when my phone buzzed. She wanted to know my schedule for the week, so she could plan cute dates around it. She started showing up at my apartment unannounced because she missed me too much to wait. Then it escalated. She wanted access to my social media accounts so we don't have any secrets. She would get upset if I didn't respond to texts within an hour. She started questioning why I needed guys' nights with my friends or why I couldn't just bring her along to everything. The jealousy got weird fast. She had analyzed every female interaction I had. My coworker asked me to grab lunch. Samantha needed to know exactly what we talked about and why I didn't invite her. A cashier smiled at me. Samantha would make comments about how she was totally flirting with you. But the worst part was how she reacted to my family, especially my little sister Emily. Emily is 20. Just finished her sophomore year. Our dad passed away when she was 12, so I have been helping raise her through her teenage years. We text regularly, hang out when she is in town. Normal sibling stuff. Samantha hated it. She would get visibly angry when Emily called. She would make snide comments about how Emily was too dependent on me and needed to find her own life. When I posted a photo of Emily and me at her graduation, Samantha lost it completely. "Why are you posting couple Y photos with another woman?" she screamed. "People are going to think you are dating her." I tried explaining that she is my sister, that it is normal for siblings to be close. But Samantha kept insisting the relationship was inappropriate and too emotional. Last Saturday was Emily's birthday. I threw her a small party at my apartment. Just family, a few of her friends. Nothing major. Samantha was invited but said she had other plans. AITA was sulking because the day wasn't about her. Emily had been going through a rough time with her first job out of college. And during the party, she got a little emotional talking about how grateful she was to have family support. She hugged me and said, "I don't know what I would do without you, big brother." It was a sweet moment. I hugged her back and told her I had always be there for her. What I didn't know was that Samantha had decided to show up after all. She walked in right as Emily and I were hugging. The look on her face was pure rage. "What the hell is this?" she screamed. The entire party stopped. Everyone turned to stare at Samantha standing in my doorway, shaking with anger. "Sam, what are you doing here?" I said, confused. "I thought you were busy tonight. I can see why you didn't want me here." She spat. "So you could play house with your little girlfriend." "She is my sister," I said, trying to stay calm because everyone was watching. "Sisters don't hug like that," Samantha said, her voice getting higher. "This is sick. You are both sick." Emily stepped forward, trying to defuse the situation. "Hey, I am Emily. We haven't officially met." Samantha slapped her across the face. The entire room went silent except for Emily's gasp. My little sister stood there holding her cheek, looking stunned. "Don't you dare try to play innocent with me," Samantha screamed at Emily. "I know what you are doing, trying to steal my boyfriend with your fake crying and desperate hugs." I saw red. I stepped between them and pointed toward the door. "Get out, now, Ethan. Baby, you don't understand, get out," I yelled, louder than I have ever yelled at anyone. Samantha started crying, saying she was sorry, that she was just so scared of losing me. But I was done. I physically escorted her out of my apartment while she sobbed and begged. The party was obviously ruined. Emily was crying. My mom was furious, and all of Emily's friends were asking what the hell just happened. I spent the rest of the night apologizing to Emily and making sure she was okay. She kept saying it wasn't my fault, but I felt horrible that my choice in girlfriend had resulted in her getting hit. The next morning, I called Samantha and ended it. No discussion, no negotiation. I told her what she did was unforgivable and that we were done. She has been calling and texting non-stop for 3 days. The messages range from apologies to threats to claims that she is going to hurt herself if I don't call her back. My family thinks I did the right thing, but part of me keeps wondering if I am being too harsh. Samantha keeps saying she only acted that way because she loves me so much and was scared of losing me. Was the breakup too extreme? I know jealousy can make people do crazy things, but hitting my sister feels like a line you cannot uncross. Edit. A lot of people are asking about the slap. Yes, it left a mark. Emily's cheek was red for the rest of the evening. No, we didn't call the police at the time because honestly we were all just in shock. Edit 2. Thank you to everyone sharing similar stories. I am realizing this pattern of escalating control and jealousy is more common than I thought. Reading your comments is helping me see this wasn't about love at all. Update 1. It has been 3 weeks since my last post, and Samantha has completely lost her mind. For the first week after the breakup, she called me 30-40 times a day. When I blocked her number, she started calling from different phones. When I blocked those, she showed up at my apartment building and my office. The messages got increasingly unhinged. First it was apologies and promises to change. Then it was anger, telling me I was an idiot for throwing away someone who loved me. Then came the manipulation. Threats that she was going to harm herself if I didn't respond. I finally had to involve building security and HR at my company. I thought that would be the end of it. I was wrong. 2 weeks ago, I started seeing someone new. Her name is Rachel. She is a civil engineer at a different firm, and she is pretty much the opposite of Samantha. Calm, rational, respects boundaries. We met through my friend Mark, who has been trying to set us up for months. Rachel and I have been taking things slow, just a few casual dates. Nothing serious yet, but I really like her. She is the first person who has made me feel normal again, after months of walking on eggshells with Samantha. Last Tuesday, Rachel texted me asking if we could talk. When I called her, she sounded upset. I got some weird messages on Instagram, she said, from someone claiming to be your ex-girlfriend's friend. She is saying some pretty serious things about you. My blood ran cold. Rachel forwarded me the screenshots. The messages came from an account called FaceRacares 2024 with a generic stock photo as the profile picture. The person claimed to be Samantha's concerned friend who felt obligated to warn Rachel about my violent tendencies and history of emotional abuse. The messages included detailed lies about our relationship, that I had pushed Samantha downstairs during an argument, that I had cheated on her with multiple women, that I had a drinking problem, and became aggressive when drunk, that I had stolen money from her purse. But the most disturbing part was that the messages included photos that I recognized from Samantha's phone, pictures of me sleeping, eating, just existing, that had been edited to look sinister or threatening. I know this sounds crazy, Rachel said, but I had to ask, is any of this true? I explained everything. The controlling behavior, the jealousy, the incident with my sister. I told her about the harassment since the breakup. Rachel listened without judgment and ultimately said she believed me, especially after I showed her some of the unhinged voicemails Samantha had left me. But the damage was starting to spread. Yesterday, Mark called me. Dude, someone's been messaging people on your Facebook friends list. My girlfriend Ashley got contacted by some girl claiming you are dangerous. I checked, and sure enough, Samantha had created multiple fake accounts and was systematically going through my social media contacts, sending variations of the same message about how I was abusive and dangerous. She would send messages to my coworkers, college friends, my neighbors, even my mom. Most people who know me well dismissed it immediately, but some of my more distant acquaintances were starting to ask questions. A coworker mentioned that someone had reached out to him with concerns about my character. I documented everything. Screenshots of the fake accounts, the messages, the edited photos. I also started recording her voicemails when she called from new numbers. But Samantha wasn't done. This morning, Rachel called me in tears. Someone had called her office pretending to be from a domestic violence advocacy group and claimed that I was a known abuser who was likely manipulating Rachel. They said they had reports of me being violent with previous girlfriends and wanted to check in on Rachel's safety. Rachel's boss pulled her aside to ask if everything was okay at home. She had to explain the entire situation to HR, which was humiliating for her. That was my breaking point. I called the police and filed a harassment report. I brought all the screenshots, recordings, and documentation of Samantha's escalating behavior. The officer said that while each individual incident might not rise to the level of criminal harassment, the pattern was concerning, and they would make a note in case it escalated further. I also consulted with a lawyer about getting a restraining order. They said I have a good case given the documented harassment and false statements. But honestly, I am exhausted. I just wanted to move on with my life, and Samantha is making that impossible. She is not just harassing me anymore. She is actively trying to destroy my reputation and my new relationship. Mark keeps telling me I need to fight back somehow, but I don't know what else to do. I have blocked her everywhere, involved authorities, and documented everything. How do you deal with someone who will not accept that the relationship is over? Edit. Several people have suggested that Samantha might escalate to stalking or physical confrontation. I have been thinking about this too, especially after what she did to Emily. I am being extra careful about my routines and making sure Rachel knows to do the same. Edit 2. To the people asking why I don't just ignore her. I tried that. Ignoring her made her escalate. She is not going to just give up and go away. Update 2. It has been 2 months since my last update, and I finally have some resolution to this nightmare. After my last post, things got significantly worse before they got better. Samantha's harassment campaign expanded beyond just me and Rachel. She started targeting my family, my workplace, and even some of Rachel's friends and coworkers. 3 weeks ago, she showed up at Rachel's office building. She didn't go inside, just stood across the street watching people come and go for hours. Building security noticed her and asked her to leave, but she came back the next day. Then she started approaching Rachel's coworkers in the parking garage, introducing herself as my ex-wife and warning them that Rachel was in danger because I was unstable and had a history of violence against women. Rachel's boss called her in again. Even though her boss believed Rachel's explanation, the situation was starting to affect the workplace dynamic. Some of Rachel's coworkers were genuinely concerned. Others thought it was drama she was bringing to work. That is when I decided to take Mark's advice and fight back strategically. Mark works in cybersecurity, so he is good at digging up digital trails. He helped me create a comprehensive file of everything Samantha had done. All the fake social media accounts she had created. We found 7 screenshots of every harassing message she would send to my friends and family, records of her calls to Rachel's workplace, photos of her lurking outside Rachel's building. Security cameras caught her voice recordings of her increasingly unhinged voicemails, but we needed more concrete evidence of her admitting to the harassment campaign. Everything we had could theoretically be explained away or denied. So we set a trap. I had Mark help me create a fake text thread that made it look like Rachel and I had broken up. We made it seem like Rachel couldn't handle the drama anymore and had ended things. Then Mark accidentally posted a story on Instagram that showed just enough of the fake text conversation to make it believable. Within hours, Samantha took the bait. She started texting me from a number I didn't have blocked, acting sympathetic about the breakup and suggesting we should meet up to talk through everything since we had so much history together. I played along, acting hurt and defeated. I told her she had been right about Rachel not being strong enough to handle a real relationship, and that I was realizing how much I had lost when I let her go. Samantha ate it up. She agreed to meet me at a coffee shop downtown to clear the air and maybe start fresh. Before the meeting, I set up a recording app on my phone and made sure Mark knew where I was going and when to expect me back. The conversation started with Samantha being surprisingly restrained, but once she got comfortable, she started revealing everything. She admitted to creating the fake accounts. She bragged about how clever she had been tracking down all my social media connections. She laughed about the edited photos, saying she had gotten better at Photoshop than she expected. But the real goldmine came when she started talking about Rachel. I knew that plain little mouse wouldn't last long, she said with genuine satisfaction. All it took was a few phone calls to her work and suddenly she is too stressed to deal with your baggage. I barely had to try. She went on to describe in detail how she had researched Rachel's workplace, figured out the building security schedule, and planned her visits to maximize the chance that Rachel's coworkers would see her and get concerned. The best part was calling her office pretending to be from that domestic violence place. She continued. I could tell her boss was taking it seriously. Nobody wants to employ someone who is mixed up with an abuser. She even admitted to the incident with Emily, though she tried to justify it. Your sister was being completely inappropriate with you. Someone had to put her in her place. You were too blind to see how she was trying to come between us. The whole conversation lasted almost 2 hours. By the end, Samantha was completely comfortable and had confessed to months of systematic harassment, defamation, and stalking behavior. I had everything I needed. After I left the coffee shop with that damning recording, I knew exactly what I had to do. I went straight home and sent that conversation to 3 crucial places that would finally put an end to this nightmare. First, I marched down to the police station and filed formal charges against Samantha for harassment and stalking. The officer who took my statement listened to key portions of the recording and told me the prosecutor's office would review everything to determine the specific charges they wanted to pursue. For the first time in months, I felt like someone in authority was finally taking this seriously. Next, I did something I had been hesitant to do before but now felt completely justified in doing. I contacted Samantha's employer. She worked at a marketing firm that prided itself on professional conduct and social media responsibility. I knew from their website that harassment and defamation campaigns were explicitly mentioned as immediately fireable offenses in their employee handbook. I sent them the recording along with a detailed summary of her systematic campaign against me and Rachel. Within hours, they confirmed they were launching an internal investigation. Finally, I did perhaps the hardest thing of all. I found Samantha's parents on Facebook and sent them a carefully worded message explaining that their daughter was in serious trouble and desperately needed professional help. I didn't want to destroy their relationship with her, but I included some of the less damaging evidence of her behavior so they could understand this wasn't just a messy breakup situation. This was their daughter systematically trying to destroy multiple people's lives and careers. The results were swift. Samantha was arrested 2 days later. She has been charged with criminal harassment, stalking, and making false statements. Her lawyer is apparently trying to work out a plea deal that involves mandatory counseling and a restraining order. She was fired from her job immediately after HR reviewed the evidence. Apparently, this wasn't her first incident of workplace inappropriate behavior. Her parents called me to apologize and explain that they were getting her into intensive therapy. They had no idea how bad her behavior had gotten and were horrified when they saw the evidence. Most importantly, Rachel and I are doing great. The fake breakup actually brought us closer together because it showed how well we could work as a team when facing adversity. She was impressed by how systematically I had documented everything and handled the situation. My sister Emily has also been following the story and feels vindicated that Samantha is finally facing consequences for her actions. I know some people might think setting up the recording was manipulative, but I was out of options. Samantha had made it impossible for me to move on with my life and was actively trying to destroy my relationships and reputation. Sometimes you have to fight fire with fire. Edit. For those asking about legal concerns with the recording, I checked with my lawyer beforehand. My state allows one-party consent recording, so it was completely legal. Edit 2. A few people have criticized the fake breakup strategy as being too elaborate. But honestly, nothing else was working. She had escalated to workplace harassment and stalking. I needed definitive evidence of her admitting to the behavior, or this could have gone on indefinitely. Final update: it has been 6 months since I first posted about Samantha, and I wanted to give you all a final update on how everything resolved. The legal stuff wrapped up last month. Samantha took a plea deal that included 18 months probation, mandatory anger management, and therapy, a 5-year restraining order preventing her from contacting me. Rachel, or any member of my family, community service restitution for Rachel's therapy costs. Dealing with the workplace harassment gave her anxiety. The restraining order was the most important part. It covers all forms of contact: phone, text, email, social media, showing up at places I am known to frequent, and third-party contact through friends or family. Violating the restraining order would result in immediate arrest and potential jail time. Her parents followed through on getting her into intensive counseling. From what I understand through the legal proceedings, she was diagnosed with some serious control and attachment issues that had been building for years. I wasn't her first victim. Apparently, there were similar patterns in her previous relationships that just hadn't escalated to this level. The therapy seems to be helping, but honestly, that is not my concern anymore. Rachel and I are doing amazing. We moved in together 2 months ago, and it has been the healthiest relationship I have ever had. After dealing with Samantha's constant surveillance and jealousy, being with someone who actually trusts me feels revolutionary. Rachel has never once demanded access to my phone or social media, gotten angry about me spending time with friends or family, made me feel guilty for having a life outside our relationship, questioned my interactions with other people. It sounds basic, but after 8 months with Samantha, basic respect feels incredible. My relationship with Emily has also gotten stronger. The whole experience made us both realize how important family bonds are and how they should be protected, not attacked. Emily was actually the one who suggested we all go to a few family therapy sessions to process what happened, which helped everyone. The biggest lesson I have learned is that love doesn't look like control. When Samantha was monitoring my phone and showing up unannounced, she called it love. When she was isolating me from friends and family, she said it was because she loved me so much she couldn't bear to share me. When she physically attacked my sister, she claimed it was because she loved me and was protecting our relationship. But real love looks like Rachel giving me space when I need it. It looks like her encouraging my friendships and celebrating my relationship with Emily. It looks like trust, respect, and the freedom to be yourself without walking on eggshells. I spent months making excuses for Samantha's behavior because she was good at framing it as devotion. But devotion doesn't hurt people. Devotion doesn't isolate you from everyone you care about. Devotion doesn't make you afraid to live your own life. Thanks to everyone who supported me through this journey. Your comments and advice helped me realize that I wasn't crazy and that I deserved better. Rachel says hi, and Emily wants everyone to know she is doing great and has started dating someone who thinks having a close relationship with her brother is sweet, not threatening. We are all moving forward, and life is good. Edit. Several people have asked about whether I feel bad about the recording Trap situation now that everything's resolved. I don't. Samantha had escalated to the point where she was affecting multiple people's lives and careers. The recording didn't make her do anything. It just gave her the opportunity to reveal who she really was when she thought she was safe. Edit 2. For those asking about warning signs I missed early on, the biggest one was how quickly she wanted to be involved in every aspect of my life. What felt like intense interest and care was actually the beginning of a control system. Trust your gut if someone's attention feels more like surveillance than affection.